Hey guys, so my name is Leon, and today we're gonna be talking about episode 6 of Big Brother 22. Today's video is gonna be a different kind of video, but with that being said, let's just get right into it. So the episode leads us off as Memphis putting up David and Nicole up for bitching. Basically, Nicole and David are upset that they're on a block. As one who is put up on a block should be upset because they have a chance of going home. But when it goes to the next segment, it talks about how Danny doesn't like the way how Memphis worded his nomination speech, especially towards David. So she's kind of upset at Memphis for that. Then it gets to the next segment where Tyler and David talk in the storage room where all the food is at, basically. So Tyler gives David a pep talk and say, "Hey, I got your back, buddy. You're not going home." And Tyler, just like Danny, does not like what Memphis said to David and Nicole, and actually wants to get rid of Memphis down the line because he doesn't really want to work with Memphis. Basically, then after that, Janelle talks with Nicole Anthony. She's trying to give her words of encouragement, try to keep Nicole's heads up, make sure Nicole is okay, and you know, being a good supportive friend as Janelle is. So I think that was a good segment to have. And then Case and Janelle talk with Memphis in the HOH room. They joke a while about how why David is in the house, being that David was the first boot in last season and why he's an all-star, blah, blah, blah. And they seem to be having a good time in the HOH room, which, they try to enforce like, hey, you should take out David, you should try talking to Cole Franzo, all that jazz. And Memphis is listening to Case and Janelle, but in his mind, he doesn't want to put up Nicole Franzo because Nicole Franzo is in his alliance. So why would Memphis do that? You know what I'm saying? But either way, they have a good time. They have a good laugh. You know what I'm saying? They, for Chase and Janelle, they want David to go home and they want to keep Nicole Anthony. Memphis, in his mind, doesn't care who goes home, being that his original target is Ian. But unfortunately, due to the safety comp and Christmas save Ian, he can't get out Ian now. So either David or Nicole Anthony, doesn't matter to him. Whoever goes home, whoever goes home. Also, in the same segment, Janelle talks to Memphis about, hey, you should, the reason why, okay. So basically, in that same segment, Janelle tells Memphis that she caught Tyler, Cody, Danny, and Nicole Franzo talking in the room together. I think the CD room in day 7. So she tells Memphis that, hey, Memphis, you should backdoor Franzo because she's running the house. She has a group with her that if she's gonna win the game, she's already winning, blah blah. And like I said before, Memphis is listening to her, but Memphis knows that that's not only Nicole Franzo, he's working with her, but those are people in his lines: Nicole, Danny, Tyler, and Cody. Those are people who he set up his alliance with. So he doesn't want either one of them to be targeted. So then it goes to the next segment, and David and Nicole Anthony talking to each other and being upset that they're on the block together, being that they have a good friendship. They was on the same season. They say they don't want to campaign against each other, but they know they have to because one of them is going to be going home, unfortunately, unless they win the veto. So we go to commercial break. After that, you see Enzo, Kevin, and Nicole Franzo talk about their current families and what hope they have for the future of the kind of families that they want to have. In terms of Kevin wants to adopt with his partner, Nicole wants to have kids down the line, and Enzo is, being happy that he's a dad and being that he has a rewarding experience of being a dad, and that's a good thing for him. So then the next segment goes to Memphis and Cody talking about, how Case and Janelle are targeting their group and specifically targeting Nicole Franzo. And Memphis tells Cody to not tell the rest of the lines. And unfortunately for Memphis, Cody decides to tell his, Danny, Tyler, and I'm sure Nicole Franzo later on. He tells all three of them, hey, Janelle's targeting us. We got to get her out or get Case out, whoever. And we got to convince Memphis to do so, yada, yada, yada. So in the next segment, you see like the Power Beetle is about to be played soon. So in order to it to be played, players are being picked for the veto. So the players who are picked along with the people who are already playing, Nicole Anthony, David, and Memphis, are Ian, Nicole Franzo, and Tyler. So those will be the six players playing in the veto competition, which is called, what's the competition called? It's called All Star Night, which, it's an interesting name, but we'll get to more of that in a moment. But before the veto happens, a couple other things have happened in the episode. So, as I mentioned before, Ian is safe for the week because Christmas won the safety comp and decided to save Ian, which is kind of an interesting move, but it's a small move for her because it helps her to create another ally outside of the lines. So, with Ian being safe because of Christmas, Ian also has to endure punishment just like Janelle had to last week. So, his punishment is BB All Star Wars, which he has to wear a ridiculous space themed costume. So basically, Ian has to do punishment. Basically, he has to read a script and react to some plays, and he has also had to do some plays with other house guests as well. At least with one other house guest. But then the next segment goes into Tyler, Tucker, to Memphis, Christmas, and Nicole, being that they know that Janelle is targeting them, and Nicole Franzel especially being pissed off that Janelle is targeting her specifically due to some pre-game stuff, as many of us already know. Those who read the Twitter, Big Brother Twitter, or those who read the nightlife feeds are already familiar with some of the stuff Nicole Franzo is upset about with Janelle, and it's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. Anyways, then after that, Memphis, once again listens to them, but Memphis, in his mind, is not gonna backdoor Janelle or Kesa because for his game, he knows it doesn't make sense for him to target those two, and it makes sense for someone else to do it. He wants to continue to play the middle. When actually, he's not really in the middle. Like from if you watch the episodes and pay attention to live feeds, he's not really the one in the middle. He's on the bottom of his lines that he create. But that's another episode to go into for another day. So, anyways, he's not back doing Janelle and Kesa for what it looks like. Anyways, the Beetle starts to be played. Memphis wins the Beetle, and it comes down to him, Tyler, and David as the last three. And surprisingly so, he wins it. And Tyler is the last one to, to have his ball drop. And let me talk about the competition real quick. So basically, the All Star Night Beetle comp is kind of like one of the survivor comps where you have to hold the ball on the plate on a string or two and make sure it doesn't fall off the plate. If it falls off the plate, then you lose. But I think it was a lazy comp, but it is what it is. That being said, Nicole Anthony and Kevin talk. Nicole Anthony is upset that she couldn't win the Beetle. Unfortunately, she knows that if she doesn't get enough votes, she's going home. And then we go to the next segment, which is Nicole Franzo and Christmas. Talk about, Nicole Franzo being worried about how Janelle and Kesa are targeting her. When in actuality, I think it's more Janelle targeting her, and it's more Kesa targeting the likes of Cody and, not really Memphis, but more like Cody, basically. Which is, it is what it is. Then you see the next segment in Memphis and Danny talk about, hey, since Memphis has the HOH and the Beetle, that he can make a big move. Danny's trying to convince him to go after Janelle, and Memphis is like listening to her, but not really, saying, hey, Danny, we're going to do it. And once again, Memphis is smart enough to not do what other people want him to do. But at the same time, I think there's better ways where he can address to be like, hey, Danny, I don't want to backdoor anybody. I don't want to get blood on my hands. But instead, he just listens to her and says, oh, he doesn't really assure Danny. And Danny gets really upset with him because Danny is like, hey, you're not even doing what the Lions want, blah, blah, blah. So, anyways, Memphis and Cody talks again. Cody does not want Janelle to be backdoored, but instead Kesa to be backdoored and tries to tell Memphis, hey, that'll be a good move, blah, blah, blah. But as I discussed throughout the episode, there's no point of Memphis backdooring KSL Janelle for his own game. And as to surprise of nobody, for the end of the episode, Memphis holds the beetle, does not use it. And during the beetle ceremony, Ian does his punishment from the safety comp by being safe, which is I still think it's cringe, but it is what it is. But yeah, Memphis not decided to use the beetle. David and Nicole Anthony are the two nominees, and one of them's gonna be going home. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the change in the video, and who knows, I might even stick to this format or go back to my old format of you guys seeing my face. I'm still experimenting to see what kind of video style I want to do. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and bye bye.